Hello and welcome to day number 7. Today is Tuesday, July 14th, 2009. Today was focused again on group presentations as well as some individual presentations, and I think that's going to be the course of action for the rest of this week. I was supposed to have a presentation today, but we didn't quite get around to it, and so I'll be presenting tomorrow on one of my articles. I also have a presentation I'll be giving on Thursday and one on Friday, and then a few more assignments after that, but it has been going by very fast this week already. I can't believe it. One thing that was really highlighted for me today was all the different styles that we bring. We all have different learning styles, but it's pretty apparent we all have different teaching styles too. I think some of that is dependent on the environment of the school, or in my case the virtual environment, but I think that that's another aspect of having such a wide cross-section of the population in our course that's really fascinating, and it's another thing that I know that I can certainly learn a lot from my colleagues while I'm down here. We've been having a good time. We've been having a lot of laughs in our class too, which is nice to see and nice to hear. And it's good to know that we've all kind of retained our sanity and retained our humanity through everything that we're going through. But the sorts of comments that people make, and it's the same sorts of things that I've said about how I can't believe that it's only been about a week and a half. It seems like so much longer because we've been almost absolutely submerged in this, and it's easy to forget that there's a real life somewhere else out there. We had a neat presentation today on the flip camera, as well as using student videos in your courses, and I think that was really interesting, and I'm really glad that we got a chance to kind of explore that and to actually look at one and hold it in my hands and watch a few presentations on what students can create with it, and how easy it is and how relatively high quality it is. So I think that that's really valuable for me because we have some really strong experts working with us, so I'm glad that we get to tap into their expertise when it comes to all things technical. Once I do get back home and back into a different sort of routine from what I've been accustomed to over the last week and a half, I really think it's going to hit me the amount of things that I've learned over my time here. Not just the educational, pedagogical, but there's so many technical things that I've been exposed to, even just slightly, even just briefly. Someone brings a website or a new piece of software or a new development program or something like that, and something I've just never been exposed to and don't really have the chance to play around with it. There's a few of them that I'd really like to. There's one presentation kind of software that I'd really love the chance to play around with it, but I have to think that realistically this isn't the time to do that. That's something I can experiment with over the next few months, but for the next few days it's not the time to try and learn that new piece of technology, and I have to recognize what's important and what's not. I found too over the last couple days I've been going back into things that we've talked about at school or at CLT, the department that I work at the Calgary Board of Education, and I'm reminded of some of the maybe the articles that we've read or some of the ideas that we've talked about, and some of it's never really sunk in until now. So maybe it's being out of that context. Maybe it's being surrounded by educators from different systems or even different parts of my own board, but it's almost brought greater meaning to the things that I've been talking about over the last 3 or 4 years. For that, I know that I shall be forever grateful. For me, I felt like today was almost a turning point as far as it goes with my participation in class. I always try and stay active, and I try and participate the best that I can, but it's hard for me to stand up in front of the class or even from my desk and to be really articulate. I'm just got a little bit hesitant, a little bit nervous. It's the introvert in me, and I think I need to continue to develop my confidence. And I've heard from others in my class that they don't recognize that in me, which is really, really generous of them. But I find that today I have started to talk a little bit more, maybe try and say something, once a class, twice, 3 times a day, try and make my voice heard. I believe that I have generally intelligent thoughts and reasonably important things to say, but it's hard for me to come out and say that. One comment that I did make today is one of the reasons I like being an online teacher so much is that it gives me that time to stop and pause and reflect, or stop the tape and re-record the video, or to really take the time to think about the kind of email that I'm going to send off. I never feel like I'm put absolutely on the spot where a concrete, perfect answer has to come back within seconds. And I worry that I would feel that in a standard face-to-face environment. Maybe that would be a really good skill for me. Maybe that's something that I need to continue to develop, or maybe I do have those skills. I just use them in a different way. Maybe I use them when I'm working with a teacher one-on-one, or when I'm presenting to a group of teachers rather than a group of students. But overall, I think that today was a turning point for me, and I hope to continue to push myself the very best that I can throughout the rest of this program for the 3 days that we have left this week, as well as next week, and for the next 3 years coming up. Every day when I wake up, I thank my lucky stars that I'm here doing what it is that I'm doing. I am very thankful, and I am very grateful to all the circumstances, but most importantly, all the people in my life that really have made this a possibility and a reality for me. And although I don't have anything new due for tomorrow, I do have a presentation, and I do have 2 pretty major projects coming up just for the end of this week. So I'm off to work on that. Have a good night.